What's up, you guys? Luke here.
Line up on the inside. Pit road
Whoa,
is
okay,
closed.
this is something slightly different now. Apparently, the game slightly glitched out there, and it somehow gave me the actual racing, the actual non-oval racing symbol there, which is a bit weird there. But anyway, welcome you guys back to the second race of this actual series. It's quite weird actually. It's not the second race of the series. It is. It's the second race of the series. And funny story here is why I'm actually started so far in the back of the grid is actually down to when I first did this racing series. Oh, another thing I have to point out here before I start is I'm trying a different microphone this time because my actual microphone I often used to record this didn't want to work with Audacity today, so I had to quickly get a rig it to make sure this microphone works. And of course, as soon as I did that, actual Audacity decided it wanted to completely muck up, and basically now I've been recording this all in fraps, so if I do apologise if I sound too loud, too quiet or anything like that, and I'll try and make the best out of this bad situation. But the reason, back to what I was going for anyway, the reason why I'm starting so far back in this actual race is down to, if you guys have ever seen my previous videos on my Luke's Gaming channel, you'll actually see that that time was about 24.1 was a very quick lap on this, 23.9 is a really, really fast lap. And what they've done is they've actually changed the track very slightly, and they changed the car setups. And the reason for that is due to people often spin on this corner, or the other corner, or turn 4, and they'll end up diving for that wall where they can see the car's gone. And often they'll try and counteract it and spin out into the main pack traffic, and often it ended a huge, great big wreck. So they've changed it to kind of be much looser than it was, and they've made the track much slower. So I'm not really keen to this new track layout and setup and stuff like that. So that's why you'll see me struggling in the start of the race. Luckily, I like to think I'm able to speed up and overtake cars during the race, but I'm very much more cautious now because, as I say, this track is one of my favourite tracks because you can overtake heavily, but it's not one of my favourite tracks because if the guy wrecks, he'll take out, just like Charlotte Motor Speedway actually, he'll take out more than just himself. Obviously, that's one thing they try to counterbalance by changing the track setup and stuff, and the car setup and everything like that, so that has kind of worked, but it has not stopped aggressive drivers, which is quite abundant in this actual racing series, so that's quite fun. And it's actually quite busy today because I'm actually recording this on Sunday. Hopefully I'm going to try and get this out later today, and it's full of lots of professional drivers here, so that's another reason why I'm starting quite far back, because if I actually pick this on like a Monday or Tuesday, I should be starting in the top 10 easily, hopefully in about 6th or 7th position, but obviously because I'm playing on Sunday and there's a hell of a lot of drivers, I am starting really far at the back of the grid actually. I always try and say that you want to try and, especially in this kind of series where there's not much power, it's all about momentum, you always want to start quite far up the grid just for the ability to avoid getting involved in huge wrecks, because this series, as I do say, is there. As you can see a car wrecked out there. 18's going to come down. I tried to give him as much space as possible there because I didn't know if he's going to come down too far or not. I didn't know if the car was spun out, it's going to go down the track, because obviously it is a bank track, so you will come down off the actual embankment there. I'm going to try and overtake here because I do believe I'm able to set good 24.6 second laps. Hopefully, I have been known to set them during race pace and stuff, but obviously it's not as good as my old 24.1s and 23.9s and stuff, which were of older ages and stuff, which is quite fun. So we're just going to be driving naturally here. I've actually put the speakerphone on. Not obviously, I'm not speaking now, hopefully not, but whoa, I just went round. Almost tagged the number 3 car there. Luckily he moved so far out of the way there, but... And one of the things, unwritten rules of this game, what I've realised is, if a car spins and we all check up, and that's what it's called when you all slow down and try to avoid the wreck, you all check up and stuff like that. And what the unwritten rule is, if you're a fast car and you've seen the wreck happening and you can tell where it's going and you are much more braver, you try to tell not to overtake the slower cars just for obvious reasons, try to be nice to people and stuff, because it's not their fault that happens, so you should try and give them the benefit of the doubt, and you can close up on them. I'm not saying you have to keep your distance, but you can close in just like a normal yellow flag on the track. Just close your distance and hopefully overtake on the next corner if possible, but try not to be mean and take advantage of situations that they did not cause. If they did cause it, then be my guest take if they were actually involved in the track. It's it's their it's not their fault, but obviously if they got involved with it, it's kind of their issue rather than yours. So that's one of the things I definitely advise you to do in this kind of racing series. Hey, I'm actually up to 9th now. Actually, I think the main reason for that is not due to me overtaking, it's more due to everyone else being, I wouldn't say bad, but everyone's quite aggressive this race. As you heard in the pre-race chat, the people saying that there's a lot of good drivers in this one, as I say, because it is Sunday, so they're quite aggressive. Apparently it's someone's last race here, because apparently he's got high enough level to go up to the next series, which I've actually got high enough level to go up to the next series, but as I do say in my previous video, I actually want to start a fresh series rather than joining halfway through the series, just so I can kind of become rookie of the race and hopefully get kind of learn the track really. So that will be, as I say, coming up in the future. Because we're currently in this series, we're currently in season 3, because there's 4 seasons in iRacing, but because it's only a 4-track series, there's A, B and C. We're currently in race 2 of season 3B. So that basically means we've got 4, basically get to the end of the season, start season 4, we need to get all the way from 3B, all the way to 4C race 4. So we've got, as I say, about 6 more races after this one until the actual race starts, as I just currently make a very sneaky move to overtake the number 10 guy there. Try not to get onto that intersection too much there, because it does slow your car heavily down, as I actually took too much of the inside there, lost all my speed because I managed to spun it there. So obviously he's now back in his position now. And I actually have a number 3 car is actually closing in quite heavily. And one of the things I've actually noticed about this game is the number system. And that is the case of, if you've got quite a high number, that means that your iRacing skill level is quite low. So if you're number 1 car, it doesn't mean in your favour, but it means you've got the highest skill level, the most reliability. So if you come across a car and you're quite a high number and the car behind is quite a low number, take it that he's going to be quite highly skilled. And take it if you've got quite a low number, like number 14 there, you may make common mistakes like that. Luckily he didn't, he actually corrected his spin there, so he didn't actually spin too far into the traffic there, but I have just lost 0.8 seconds up behind that car in front, that's Steven. So that's going to be quite fun trying to close up on the guy there. Hopefully I should be able to do that. As you can see, I'm just close to 0.6 now, so I'm closing quite dramatically here. Quite luckily actually how I'm closing. Oh, I just felt the back end kind of step out there, and I'm on the intersection there. I believe that used to be grass actually. Whoa, bollocks. Okay, well, I did say earlier that they try to avoid this kind of wreck, but obviously I was too stupid and I kind of let the wreck happen, take forward there. It wasn't a wreck, luckily, as I do say that I didn't counteract it there. I actually didn't think that would have happened. That kind of took me by surprise. I didn't quite expect me to end up going that far into the grass area, but yeah, that was actually quite upsetting, if I'm honest here. I didn't quite expect that to happen there, so I do apologise. This race is going to be absolutely abysmal. I probably should have recorded this on a rink day where people would be less skilled, but obviously that would mean less action race and obviously less exciting for you guys to watch. But hopefully by the next time the track comes around in about 2 weeks' time, hopefully I'll be a little bit more tamed for the track. Hopefully I've kind of learned the skill of the track. But luckily we have got Charlotte Mountain Speedway coming up next, one of the tracks which I would like to think I've mastered, unless they do obviously change the race layout and stuff like that. And I could actually dramatically see myself falling down the... As you can see, that's the new talk actual microphone thing people can do now. I've actually got mine rigged up to another button, but I'm not going to hopefully use it during this race because I've never actually needed to use it. But obviously, if I found a guy in front of me who has got the microphone, I will obviously contact him, because you can only hear people if you have it set up. And I've just recently set it up about 2 or 3 days ago, so it does kind of give you vital information, but most of the time you can't really understand a lot of people because they do use microphones which are subpar, especially when you've got a very loud booming engine in the background like we've got here. As what might actually explain what's happening here, because you may not be able to hear me or not, because that could be an issue. In otherwise, I may have to put other subtitles in, which may take several hours, or I may have to do some heavy editing just to try and either bring the sound up or to do something about it, because I'm hoping I can actually label this as background noise if it does happen, but I don't know how badly I'll have to edit this. But as you can see there, I'm actually down to 15th position, which is absolutely awful. I'm actually going to lose so many iRacing license points and actually iRacing skill points, which is basically going to undo about 4 or 5 days worth of work there. So it's all about consistency in this racing series. You have to be consistent to get anywhere in this racing thing, but obviously today I wasn't very consistent. I had quite a good start, but as you saw there, I kind of did the thing which they tried to edit out by making the car much more looser or tighter or whatever, depending on what kind of driver you are, you kind of say what it is. But for me at least, I found it's much more looser, meaning you end up going up the track rather than down the track, which obviously reduces the amount of people spinning out, but it does which heavily reduce the amount of speed you'll be able to take into the corner. Now I've actually got the leader right up my arse now, so obviously my job here is just to let him go by. I don't actually want to let the guy behind him get by, which which basically means I'm dropping another position on the track, but I'm not going to give him full room. I'm just going to give him enough room to get by like now. I'm just going to brake slightly early, and as I said there, you've got the guy trying to make a little dive on me there, and of course he actually almost spun out there. he may say it as down because we were going too wide into the corner. He might say I didn't give him enough room, but I think also he may have gone on to the lower stuff. There you go, saying low because obviously he found it quite weird. And that's actually given me the opportunity to overtake them on 13 car. Hopefully I'm going to try and dive under him this time because, well, why not, really? There you go, dived under him. Again, I don't really want to be on that kind of soft tarmac kind of thing there, because there you go. I mean, they're going to let the number 1 guy go back again. Hopefully he'll be able to successfully overtake me this time without spinning the car. Luckily he's able to save it though, because that's the worst thing really in the lead, and some silly little mistake obviously meant that you've dropped heavily. I think he's actually got quite a large gap between second place, so that's obviously quite handy, as you can see there, and they've got 20 more laps to go. He's probably going to take the inside there, so I'm just going to give it to him. Oh, some random legs spikes happen here. I don't know if this is internet leg spikes or what really, if I'm honest here.
Car inside.
Just going to let him go by in there.
Clear inside.
There you go, it's gone by now. That's pretty cool. Whoa, I think the car behind just spun out, which, well, isn't the greatest thing ever. Just going to try and take it a little bit more faster, a little bit more aggressively here. Now I'm behind the leader, I can just hopefully kind of stick behind him, really. I think he just said thanks for letting me go by about 4 times, that's fine. Just hopefully stick behind him, hopefully he'll spread the cars in front of me, hopefully give me enough space to overtake the future. Whoa, went too far, as you can see there, I broke too late there, and the car just went straight up the track there, obviously not giving me enough space there, so that was quite fun. Not, but you know, we'll see how it goes. As you can see, number 1, that leader was just completely just gone. He just left me now. Oh, internet. That's what internet looks like if you somehow lose the ability to have it. I had to lean over there and turn my monitor back on because it suddenly wanted to turn itself off. That's one of the fun things about having a monitor which has to have constant movement, otherwise it turns itself off. Luckily it wasn't this monitor I'm currently using because it kind of knows that there's a race happening here, but the other monitor went black and I didn't know if that would screw up the recording or not. Let's hope it didn't, at least. But anyway, you can see that we've actually calmed down heavily after that start of the race. It wasn't a mental race because I'm actually record some random non-commentary races where I just record it and show you what happens behind the scenes, what an average race would be. I might even make a quote-unquote montage kind of thing showing either wrecks or abilities or something like that, because this is just a very short snippet at least of the average race you get here. Obviously this is a full race, but when you have an entire season you probably race about 20 to 30 races per season, and obviously you're only going to get 4 races, so I may try and bump that up to 5 or 6 or something like that, just by either having clippings of me spinning out stupid abilities and just random stuff. As I did say earlier, I was trying to get some kind of advice thing going up, but obviously the editor I had in mind isn't really up to editing this kind of... He didn't say he's not up to it, but he said that he isn't really comfortable editing this kind of stuff. He said that I was like, if you don't really explain what you want, as I really don't know what I want, so I think we're just going to leave it for now until I get more subscribers on this channel, or actually I get it's great inspiration or something like that to do it. So obviously, whoa, as I can just see up there, there's a huge clusterfuck of cars up there. If either that leader can get stuck up there and he'll just not spin, but obviously he'll get stuck behind him, or they may take each other out, which could happen either way, because you can see there's about 5 or 6 cars there within like a second or up. Now, whoa, okay, I almost did what happened there then. I was too busy, I broke too late, I turned in too aggressively, and you can see that I almost spun the car out. Luckily I didn't put the power on, because obviously it was a braking situation here, so luckily I didn't actually break the car, which is good. But obviously it has meant that the car in front of me has dramatically gotten in front of me now. And then we've actually moved up to, what position we moved to now? We've actually moved up to 13th now, which is, oh, I think we actually have some brake. I think one of the brakes may have died, because I can feel the car is dramatically turning to the left whilst the brakes, so that's obviously not a good thing. Let's hope that hasn't actually completely broke my brakes yet, because I've actually had a race before where I started the race, I didn't even know I might have actually overheated the brakes by leaning on the brakes like this. As you can see, I'm moving up the brake bit slightly. I might have actually overcooked the brakes there, and it basically meant that my car spun every time I hit the brakes, and it just completely led to an absolutely awful race. I do not like it at all, but obviously that was fun. It wasn't fun, but you know, it might probably be quite fun to watch because I was getting quite ragey and the car was just, I had to brake halfway down the back straight and people were getting really frustrated. I probably lost about 4 or 5 laps to the lead just due to, I didn't want to wreck everyone, so I could have just went to the pits, but obviously it was a great learning experience to see how the car reacts to different situations and stuff. which I definitely think is worthwhile. Even if you're in last position and you feel that there's no point of doing it, as long as you get out of the way of faster cars and the leaders and so forth, just try and learn about the car, try and learn the limits of the track again, just try and see what you can do, because any experience, especially in this kind of series, is great experience. Every time you spin out, you may think, oh, you know, that's bad, but it may happen, it may prevent you from spinning out, from leading a race, or even leading the championship, which actually almost happened to me before, because I was actually in 3rd position at the start of, at the end of the last race, and now I've dropped down heavily because I don't know how to do it. As I keep saying, the qualifying in this track is not very good for me and not very nice, so I think I've dropped down to about 50th in the championship standing rather than, I think I was 4th actually. Whoa, okay, don't come down please, there you go. I was actually down to 4th, as you can see, I'm going to hopefully not overtake him. I'm getting respect here by not overtaking him, as I did say earlier. For the car, he did brake on purpose there because he didn't know. Now, he made a little mistake there, I'm just going to see what he's going to do here. Okay, closed again. I could have fit in there, but obviously that would have dramatically done what that happened up there. That happened exactly what I was going to say. That happened exactly what I was going to say. Whoa! Now, I would have let him go by, but obviously he just has gone so far up the track there, I couldn't really let him go by, as that number 14 car, I think, wants to go to the pits. Whew, that could have gone so badly. What position are you up to now again? Are we up to 12th now, or are we up any further than that? Well, I don't know, let's see. What am I now? I'm in 9th, that's pretty good actually. It just happens to think what would happen if I would have stayed, if I would have spun out earlier. What do you think? Probably 5th, if I'm lucky? I'm not going to outbrake that guy because I can see that he was obviously trying to push much harder than I could have given pushed up. Now the actual leader hasn't gotten too far away from us now, which is pretty good actually. I don't think he's very happy after what happened there, so obviously I wouldn't be very happy if something was wrecked, so people are just moaning in the chat again, obviously. I keep, that's another thing, don't try and stare at the chat, because often that will lead to you doing something really stupid, which I have obviously happened to me several times, but even during actual racing when I try and do commentaries like this, because I'm just too busy looking at the chat and also trying to talk about the chat, and it's just ended in complete misery, and often ended with me wrecking the car or something like that. Oh, I think I've got one, possibly. Now, let's see what he's going to do. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, he's blocking, he's defending. That was close, that was really, really close. I had to put quite a lot of brake on there, and I was scared of me spinning it, because that could have gone dramatically badly. It could have gone terrible, actually, that could have been terrible. Again, he's gone a little bit too hard on the corner, meaning I was going to get the power down slightly early. Now, he's definitely defending here, though. He's defending quite well. He's taking the line, basically, because as you can see, I like taking the heavily inside, because that was actually the old recommendation, and he's just gonna, I should just give it to him, unless he makes a terrible mistake. I'm not going to put too much pressure on him, just because he's defended. Obviously, he's been holding that position for quite a while. He may have started a little bit further up, but I'm not too sure about that. He's not the highest skill driver, because it says 18th, so he's into car 18, so I'm just going to, again, put some slight pressure on him, but if he didn't buckle, as he's not done so far. Yep, there you go, he's got a position. I'm getting rid of him, obviously. I could have pushed a little bit harder on that one, but as I say, there's no point of trying to wreck someone else's race just for silly gains, especially when the points aren't really that worth it. But no, that's quite good considering what actually happened at the start of it. So, you know, that could have gone better, obviously, but it could have gone 10, 15 times worse than that. So, yeah, that's quite good actually. Let's just bring it into the pits, and then I'll just do the ending of it here and just say go down to 3rd. There we go, perfect. Actually, probably go down to 2nd. People are just saying that someone is actually basically saying he's going to go up to the next. I would actually advise you to go to the truck series, because that is basically the next level up, so that's going to be quite fun to do. That's actually what I'm aiming to do anyway.
The race is over. Bring it on in.
There we go, that's the end of it. So, anyway guys, thank you for this one. As I do say, I may be doing a separate video, probably not on this track, but I may do 2 races next season. Now, one of them will definitely be commentary, one of them may or may not be. So you may be getting a second race, or it may just be a bonus race, or it may be just split up and something like that. We'll see how it goes, but anyway, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, goodbye.